Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai is this morning launching the Legal Aid National Action Plan in Nairobi. The plan is expected to provide a framework and guide for the provision of legal aid in Kenya, among other services. Our reporter Judge Mariga is at the event, and we now cross over live to him. Judge, good morning. What more can you tell us about this launch? All right, let's just listen into what is happening there before we speak to George.
Legal aid a reality in Kenya. We continue to thank him for the commitment and support that he has shown to us as a board.
Thank you, Nazma, for your very kind remarks. This is, I think, because Ms. Malik and I come a long way. Her father, Brigadier Malik, was a very good friend of mine, still is. Your Excellencies, the Chair, Ms. Malik, the chairs of the various commissions, board members of the National Legal Aid Service, members of the Action Plan Technical Working Group, the development partners, representatives of the various stakeholders in the justice sector, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure today to preside over this launch of the National Action Plan on Legal Aid for 2017-2022. Indeed, it has been a long journey of almost 50 years of trying to ensure that all persons in Kenya get access to legal aid. It is the culmination of many processes coupled with the legal experience of many lawyers who believe that the rights of all persons, no matter their circumstances, ought to be upheld. It has been a journey fraught with frustrations, but ultimately today we gather here to launch the guidelines to what I believe will be a complete paradigm shift in the justice system of Kenya, which I believe will be replicated in other African countries and indeed across the world. All along, we have had various opportunities to use our collective synergies, skills, resources, and experiences to deliberate upon the missing links in the justice process that have brought us here to celebrate yet another milestone in the search for justice for all. I must thank you all for your efforts. To our development partners, we couldn't have finished the preparatory process without you. Today, we start another process of implementation. Ladies and gentlemen, the launch of the National Action Plan on Legal Aid, the first one in this region and in our country, is an indicator of the government's commitment to ensure access to justice for all, as is enshrined in our Constitution, and also in line with international best practices and standards in the promotion and protection of human rights. The government continues to reaffirm its commitment to protecting the rights of all persons as enshrined in Chapter 4 of the Bill of Rights. These rights must be protected always and realized for all people within the boundaries of this country. The National Action Plan is also aimed at fostering transparency and accountability in the dispensation of government obligations and commitments under the national, regional, and international legal frameworks on access to justice. As many of you here gathered today will recall, since independence, legal aid has been offered by both state and non-state actors. However, the non-state actors, being our partners, have been the major providers. Provision of legal aid as practiced in the country has not had any clear institutional and coordination frameworks within which to operate. However, through the enactment of the Legal Aid Act 2016 and the National Legal Aid Awareness Policy 2015, the government now has adopted a collaborative and systematic approach that brings together all actors and the state in a coordinated manner in the provision and promotion of legal aid. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2010 Constitution expanded the Bill of Rights to include for the first time extensive provisions on economic, social, and cultural rights. One of the most celebrated aspects was the recognition and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms to preserve the dignity of individuals and communities while promoting social justice. Further, the Constitution obligated the state to ensure access to justice for all persons and to protect the rights of every accused person by ensuring that they have a fair trial and an advocate is assigned to the accused person at the cost of the Republic. This National Action Plan sets out major initiatives that will address legal aid concerns across the country while providing the necessary impetus to operationalize the Legal Aid Act 2016 and the National Legal Aid and Awareness Policy 2015. The plan will provide a broad strategic framework on legal aid while ensuring there is continued synergy and coordination amongst the stakeholders so as to provide legal aid that is responsive, affordable, accessible, and speedy to all our people. This plan of action will go a long way in positioning legal aid issues in the overall development agenda of our country by highlighting the cross-sectoral linkages. This National Action Plan on Legal Aid is a broad collaboration and coordination framework for all actors in the justice sector. It aims to build stronger justice institutions, improve access to and quality of legal services to members of the public, especially the poor and the vulnerable, while reducing poverty and empowering citizen participation in governance. All these objectives have the ultimate goal of enhancing national security in our country. It is great comfort to know that there is a light at the end of this tunnel as we've been exposed to the systems that operate in different countries that are our partners. Our partnerships and belief in a democratic system that protects and promotes a rights-based approach to sustainable development will see as government enhance our capacity building and information sharing system for the betterment of all. This is the journey that we are starting today, and not a single entity, but as partners. We must pool all our energies and resources together as we talk the talk that was started at independence. Today we begin the journey of sensitizing and creating awareness on the availability of legal aid in Kenya. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to speak of one sector that may take for granted, yet it forms the backbone of public participation in the country. I'm happy that the media in this country plays a crucial role in the awareness creation of the fundamental rights of our people. Today, I challenge all of us to work hand in hand with our key partners, the media, in reaching out to all our people. I am alive to the fact that the media links and networks in this country remain the most dynamic, interactive, and easily accessible by all. The media is the cog that drives any rights-based system. It is not for naught that they are regarded as the fourth estate. The media is most important in the birth and the growth of democracy for its role in spreading facts and shaping public opinion. Every society requires an informed citizen. The role of the press cannot be underestimated, both for informing the citizens of government on government activities, as well as providing a feedback system between government and the public. The media drives the debate on access to justice better than all of us in this country, and only a fool would deny that fact today. The National Action Plan on Legal Aid is developed by the National Legal Aid Service, whose objective is to provide affordable, accessible, sustainable, credible, and accountable legal aid services to the indigent Kenyans. NLAS, operating under my office, is mandated to provide legal awareness, support community services by funding justice advisory centers, and promoting alternative dispute resolution methods that enhance access to justice. Their services are based on the principle of impartiality, gender equality, and the non-discrimination protection of the marginalized and the rules of natural justice. It is incumbent upon us at the start of this journey to ensure that the public whom we serve understand our mandate. I must stress again that the media is your most important partner in this journey, for you must take your services away from Nairobi to all other parts of our country where they are required. Indeed, we have faced challenges in the journey to provide access to justice for all. This should not slow down our zeal nor our determination. It is my belief that the coordinated approach set out in this plan today gives us great opportunities to allow us to tap into our resource base, both financial and otherwise, for us to strengthen and cement our processes and gains. This action plan illustrates the major initiative to address legal aid concerns across the country, and it becomes clear as you read it that a lot has been achieved, and yet at the same time highlights the enormity of the work that lies ahead of you. It is my belief that this plan provides the necessary impetus to operationalize the Legal Aid Act and the Legal Aid Awareness Policy, and that this will be on a continued and sustainable basis. I am particularly pleased, like the chair, Ms. Malik, has observed, that we have a very large group of students in our midst. The future of any profession rests on the generation that we are training. Some of us in this room, we've been around for a number of decades in the service of the law, and like we say in Swahili, punde si punde, there will be a time when the baton must pass. I myself first became involved in legal aid as a student in a program we used to call Kituo cha Sheria, and I think it's alive and well and is part of the institutions we have worked with. So I do welcome the students in a very, very special way and wish to encourage you that your heart is in the right place. Legal aid is important. It is meaningful, as the gentleman who spoke to us about his experience in remand demonstrate. It is absolutely important. But I would also like, again, speaking to the students for a few minutes, to encourage you to help this country improve the quality of public discourse. The public discourse in this country has deteriorated exceedingly in the last couple of years, especially on these important issues of the Constitution, of law, of human rights, of sovereignty and integrity of the Republic and its future. I place myself, the blame at the door of two groups of people. One group are lawyer politicians who never ever read a law book the last 25 years. And they begin every speech by saying, I am a lawyer myself. Then they continue to mislead the public on the most basic and fundamental principles and concepts of law. You young people must call out these legal dinosaurs, and you must help the public to appreciate what really is the law. Another group, similar to that one, is a group of so-called public intellectuals. They comment on every issue. The more ignorant they are on the subject, the louder is their commentary on the subject matter. On television, on radio, on Twitter, on Facebook. Please, we owe the public a duty of care. We must stop these reckless individuals from misinforming the public. The law is more available now than it has ever been in the history of Kenya. We have a whole portal that carries the laws of Kenya available to any citizen to check for themselves. And they do not have to be treated to the diatribes of this mostly mischievous, mostly uninformed, and mostly, shall we say, have been. Let me give you an example. Yesterday I read an article by a gentleman. I have to call him that because I have no other basis of assessing. He started by claiming that he's a distinguished doctor and professor. Again, I have to accord him those accolades that he has accorded himself, because I have no way of verifying them. And this is what he said. He said he has never heard of the concept of high treason. Any person talking of high treason is ignorant of the law. The professor is exceedingly ignorant. The difference between Section 40 of the Penal Code that creates the offense of treason and Section 42, which creates the offense of misprision of treason, is precisely that. Section 40 declares what is high treason, which is the overthrow of the legitimate government of the day. That is high treason. Article 42 creates misprision of treason, the failure to report the effort to. I would have thought myself when I was a teacher of criminal law that that was basic for a Form 1 student. Now, as we speak, what our Kenyans have been informed are these perorations of this so-called distinguished doctor, professor, something. Let's come to the senators, senator politicians. They can never seem to keep their mouths shut on issues that they have no idea about. Some senator says, oh, there is nothing in Kenya like treason law, it's colonial law. This is a man sitting in the Senate. Now, you know as students that Section 40 and 42 of the Constitution are intact. They have never been changed. They were not changed by the new Constitution. The new Constitution cannot. What is the essence of the law of treason? It is to protect the constitutional order. A lawyer who says, I have practiced for 40 years and there is no law to protect the Constitution from illegitimate overthrow, I think he belongs in another forum. But that's not enough. You hear from another one. Another one says, I am a very senior lawyer. I am even senior to the Attorney General. Is he senior counsel? No. What does the Advocates Act say? Advocates, the seniority of advocates is dictated by their place in the role of advocate, senior counsel being the senior-most, and the Attorney General being the senior-most of them all. So this poor senator then continues to perpetuate this sort of ignorance to unsuspecting public. And this continues. You have fellows writing opinion pages, fellows writing on Facebook, all manner of things. Somebody says, the Attorney General should never comment on criminal law. The role of criminal justice is the DPP, ignorance on stilts. The DPP is the prosecutor. The Attorney General is the chief legal advisor of the government and the defender of the rule of law. What is the rule of law? All law, including criminal justice. So, dear young people, what then is your challenge? Help us to help our country. Great debates are taking place. They will shape the stability, the prosperity, the future of the country you will bequeath to your children and their children. Do not allow this debate to be arrested by clearly a group of ignorant, self-serving, have been former lawyers. Ladies and gentlemen, before I finish, I want to thank all of you, Madam Chairperson, Ms. Malik, together with your team. I want to thank the representatives from the judiciary. I want to thank the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. I want to thank the National Police Service, the Department of Correctional Service, the Office of the DPP, the Council of Persons with Disabilities, the Council of Legal Education, the National Treasury, the Public Benefits Organization, members of the Diplomatic Corps as well, and I cannot thank you enough, as well as our donors, our donor partners for their efforts and for the long support they have given to us. For this plan that we launched today to be fully realized, we must all conform to the African proverb. If you want to go first, go alone. If you would want to go far, go together. Let us capitalize and build on the synergies that we have already established. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere pleasure to launch this National Action Plan on Legal Aid 2017-2022. I hope that we will meet again in the near future to launch the plan that succeeds that, and that our supporters will still be in support. Thank you very much, and do have a wonderful Christmas and a very active and prosperous 2018.
All right, so like he's just mentioned, the Professor Githu Muigai has just launched the National Action Plan on Legal Aid for the year 2017 to 2022. Now, of course, like he's mentioned, that this legal aid will help more and more Kenyans get access to legal aid. He's also mentioned that this is going to strengthen the framework for policies, laws, and administrative processes to ensure sustainable and quality justice to every single Kenyan. He's also mentioned that this particular action plan is going to be aiming to build stronger justice institutions and also improve access to quality of legal services to members of the public, especially the poor and the vulnerable in society, while of course reducing poverty and empowering citizen participation in governance. So that is just part of the speech that he's just made with launching that national legal aid. All right, so we will be also speaking to our colleague George Maringa, who's there, just to hear more about some of the statements and testimonies that were shared earlier on before the AG began giving his speech. But that legal aid has officially been launched by the AG. All right, so